What's going on? What's going on, y'all? You know who it is. You know what it is, man. It's your boy, Big June. I'm back with it. Here to another episode of Big June Sports Talk, man. Where sports discussion becomes sports debate and so on and so on, man. But we discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly. Everything and anything in the sports world, I touch on this platform, man. Before I get this episode off, I'm going to apologize if you do hear the AC in the background. I'm trying to find a better lighting. You know, bear with me for the heat, the lighting, the sun. But it is the Sunshine State of Florida, man. So again, I apologize for the light, the sun, and the AC in the background, man. But it is what it is. Please bear with me, right? Shout out to the Denver Nuggets for holding down home court and doing what they were supposed to do. Hold down home court. So now LA goes back home, licking their wounds. Can they bounce back and take game 3 and hold down their home court? Stay tuned. We're all going to find out. As well as game 2 of the Miami-Boston series, right? Miami stepped up, did what they had to do, still game 1 and home court in this series. Can they go for 2? Are they greedy like that? Or will Boston bounce back and head down to Miami in South Beach, tied 1-1? Stay tuned for that for the conference finals, right? I also dropped Sky Ins and Fallen New York fans for my Mets and Yankee fans. Y'all can check that out. I also dropped the Dumb Gets Dumber, the John Morant. Hopefully he wakes up and opens up his mind and someone steps up to the plate and helps that young man find his way. There's a lot of stuff going on in the sports world, man. Some good, some bad, some ugly. And unfortunately, some sad. And right now, you know, this news that I got. Legendary NFL player, running back / fullback, however y'all look at him, the legendary late great, Jim Brown has passed away. So let me repeat that again, man. The legendary late great Jim Brown has passed away. So for all the young heads that don't know who Jim Brown is, or don't know the true origin of the NFL, and who was the original Derrick Henry or some of these bruising running backs, or where it all came from, look no further than the originator himself, Jim Brown. Condolences and prayers to his family, the Cleveland Brown organization, the University of Syracuse, who both retired his numbers, right? 44 and 32 respectively. And I'll get into some of the stats, some of his football numbers, life after football, what he's done. But you know what? I ain't even going to beat around the bush, man. Let's just get down to it, man. Jim Brown, born February 17th, 1936, and passed away May 18th, 2023. Like I mentioned, fullback / running back, however y'all want to put him in the category. With 12,312 career rushing yards, they averaged out to 5.2 yards per carry. So let me slow that number down real fast. He was gaining half a first down per carry. 5.2 per carry. So again, let me get that real fast. 12,312 career rushing yards, which averaged out to 5.2 per yards, with a career rushing touchdowns of 106, receiving yards of 2,499, with 262 career receptions, along with 20 career receptions, receiving touchdowns, right? AP, MVP, 3 times. 1957, 1958, 1965. From 1957 through 1965, he played for the Cleveland Browns before retirement from the NFL. He also won the NFL championship with the Cleveland Browns in 1964. Led the league in rushing 8 out of the 9 seasons he played. So, let me slow that down for a second. Led the league in rushing 8 of the 9 years he participated as a fullback / running back for the Cleveland Browns. I gave you some of the numbers career-wise. Over 12,000 yards rushing. Over 100 rushing touchdowns. 20 career receiving touchdowns. In 2002, was named by Sporting News as the greatest professional football player ever. Rookie of the Year, 1957. NFL member of the 50th, 75th, and 100th anniversary all-time team. There's more. It goes more for this legendary career, like I mentioned. Syracuse retired number 44, and the Cleveland Browns retired number 32, respectively. In 1965, Jim Brown became the first black boxing announcer, commentator, television, however you want to go about it, right? One of a kind. In 1998, Brown founded the American Program, which is a life management skills organization that operates within the inner cities and prisons. So he was always giving back to the community, right? And we're not even going to get into the activists and the countless empowerment movements he was about. This here is really about the football career, right? But I'm going to give you some of the stuff he's done, because he just stood out. He was a one of a kind. In 2008, Jim Brown sued EA Sports and Sony for using his appearance in the NFL Madden game without permission, never signing a right or giving them permission to use his image in the football game. In 1974, Jim Brown posed nude for a September issue of the Playgirl magazine. I know, let me slow that down further, and let me repeat it again for you guys. In 1974, Jim Brown posed nude for the September issue of Playgirl magazine. One of the first celebrities ever to allow full frontal nude pictures to be used. One of the first celebrities to let a full frontal nude picture be used. So he was confident in himself and who he was. In 2018, Jim Brown, along with other people, including Kanye West, met with President Trump to discuss the state of America and some of the things they could do to improve moving forward as far as the inner cities, right? So when you look at Jim Brown, one of the first things that come out to your mind, if you didn't know, was an outstanding football player, right? I just gave you the numbers. Pro Bowler every year he played, led the league in rushing, 8 out of 9, 106 career touchdowns, over 12,000 career rushing yards, average 5.2 yards per carry. I mean, this guy was phenomenal on the gridiron. But it got even better off the field. He was an activist and was a strong member when it came to the black empowerment. He was also an actor in countless movies. Spike Lee did a documentary autobiography type movie on him, and rightfully so. When it comes to being an historian as far as what is the NFL, who paved the way for the Walter Paytons, the Bo Jacksons, the Emmitt Smiths, the Derrick Henrys, the Curtis Martins. Look no further than Jim Brown. So when you look at Derrick Henry and you think he's the first imposing running back to smash through the defense, I advise you to go check out them Jim Brown highlights. And then you be the judge for yourself. See, when you look at the NFL and the history of the game and some of the players, Jim Brown embodied what every player aspires to be today, on and off the field. And yes, he's had running with the laws, arrested like any other man, and stood 10 toes down firmly in what he believed. Whatever cause Jim Brown fought for, he went to the end. So when you think of the pioneers, when you think of some of the greatest to ever battle off and off the field, Jim Brown has to be on top of that list. I mean, you would love to give the man his flowers while he was alive, and he definitely received them. Excuse me. Along with Muhammad Ali, along with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jim Brown was that guy. So, I advise all you young boys or just fans of the game, NFL, and you're a fan of the running back position, or you're aspiring to be one of the latest or the next great running back, I advise you to look up footage of Jim Brown and how it all started, right? The stigma, the breaking, the stereotype of a big man can't run the rock. He won't be successful. He averaged 5.2 yards per carry for his career. I mean, if that's not success, then what is? But everything he stood for off the field, all the battles, the countless activists embody him as more of a football player, but as a man, a black man who stood for his and stood for his community and wouldn't back down. So, again, man, condolences and prayers to the Jim Brown family. And, the NFL, the sports world has lost a true legend, a true pioneer for the game of football and for the game of life. When it's all said and done, again, I would advise you to find out who Jim Brown was. Do your research. Do your due diligence. For you NFL fans, right? Hey, it is what it is. And, all my family and friends in New York, man, stay safe, stay sharp, stay blessed, stay alert, stay on point. I know some of y'all just turned yourself in to go do a bid. A couple of y'all getting paroled. A couple of y'all about to go see the port. Hopefully y'all get your day in the sun, man. We love you and we pray for you on this side, man. I'm out of here. 1.